Hello friends, I hope that you're well. Instead of a daily vlog today, I am going to be showing you how I edit my travel Instagram photos. Since it's been requested for a long time and I keep meaning to make it, but I haven't, so here it is for you today. I use Lightroom to edit my Instagram photos. I pay a monthly Adobe subscription for Photoshop and Lightroom, which is about a tenner, but honestly, I very rarely use Photoshop, mostly because I just look at it and it gives me a headache. So I use Lightroom on desktop and mobile, depending on whatever device I've taken the photo on. So most of my Instagram shots in the past year have been taken on my Google Pixel 3 phone, so they've been edited on the mobile version, and any photos that I take on my Lumix GH5 or my GoPro, I edit on my laptop. If you look at my Instagram, there does seem to be a somewhat theme, but I do not use presets. I hate presets. I find that they just never work on my photos, especially because they're travel photos. All of them are so different in the lighting, the colors, the quality. And I don't know if you're the same as me there, but presets just don't work. So I have to edit each photo individually. But you will see as we go through a few photos that I edit all of my images very similarly so that they all finish up in a look that I'm happy with. And just a disclaimer before we start, I'm not a professional photographer. I've never done any kind of qualification in photo editing. I'm very rough with my edits. It only takes me about 2 minutes to edit my photos. I don't pay high attention to detail, and that's mostly because I just don't care enough. These photos are for Instagram, not for the Louvre Museum. So without further ado, let's get started on the edits using my phone. Let's go and open Lightroom. I'm going to start off with maybe some of my Philippines photos. Oh, I like this one. Let's edit this photo here. So this is the after. That's the before, after, before, after, reset, all. So the very first thing that I do is go into light, and then I bring the highlights down and I bring the shadows up. A lot of these things, I don't know why I do it. I've just been told that it's good in the past and I like the way it looks. I like the photos to be as bright as possible. So I kind of up the exposure as much as I can get away with without it looking too much. So I've gone with plus 42 there. Then I go on to the curve. Again, not because I really know what it does. This is kind of bringing contrast into the photo. Not too much. So I make this like S shape. And then oops, I didn't mean to do that. Undo. And then I bring this bottom toggle up, and this brings like fade into the image. I like it about that much. And I always toggle forwards and back, like just to see how far I've come like along the way. Then I normally go into the color. So I click the color icon down there. Oh no, that one's gone out of focus. So I click I'm not doing very well with all of these cameras, guys. So I click the color icon down there, then mix. Right, so we deal with the reds first. I normally like my reds to be a bit more orangey. But not too much. And then normally I just put them up a bit in saturation and then down a bit in luminance. That normally is like affecting like my lips and my tongue. Then orange. I like to be an Oompa Loompa. I like to be as orange as I can kind of get away with. See, that's too orange. But that's okay. And then make myself look a bit browner. How brown do we want to go? Not that brown. That doesn't look realistic. I just like to have a tan, you know. Maybe there. And then we're going to go with our yellows. Now, normally I like my yellows to go into the reds, but I do like to switch it both ways to see how it looks. And yes, in this instance, I do like it more towards the reds. And then normally I desaturate them. I quite like the yellows in this image though. I'm going to desaturate them a bit, like not all the way, and make them a bit brighter. And then the green, I switch it from one hue to the other and see how I prefer. I hate it that side, or I like it here. I like the way it's made that the water look. Oh, but that's too green. If I put the saturation up there, maybe I'll keep the saturation in the middle. And I like water to be light, like as light as possible. Well, within reason. So I think I'm going to put it up to like there, the greens. And then the aquas, what's that going to affect? Oh, it affects my bikini top, kind of. I don't think I'll just leave that there. Maybe we can up the saturation and up the luminance. I don't know. Okay. And then blue, that's probably going to really affect my bikini top, yeah. I don't really want to affect it that much. Maybe I'll just put it like there. I do like things to be quite blue and like light blue, though. So maybe like that. And the purple, I don't think there's any purple in the image. No, there's not. Is there any pink in the image? I think that's affecting my tongue a little bit. But other than that, generally, that's kind of it. And then I might go on to this square down here and increase the clarity a bit if I feel like it needs it. This one, maybe a tiny weeny bit. And that's it. And then we go back and forwards, back and forwards. Beautiful. And that's the final image. All right, should we move on to the next image? Oh, this was a really popular one on my Instagram, another one from the Philippines. That was the before, after. Again, let's reset it. So I remember from last time that was here. Reset. This one had a bit of a crop as well. I normally do the crop last. So I start in light. I'll bring those highlights down. And I'll bring those shadows up. So all these photos on my phone were taken on my phone as well. I'm going to increase the exposure as much as I can kind of get away with. Maybe like 50, I can get away with that. And then do the curve. Make sure that one's in the middle. And then you're going to drag this one up to bring that contrast in. How much contrast do we want? About that much? Oh yeah, that looks nice. Okay, and then we're going to lift up this end one to bring in that fade. Okay, and then we're going to move on to the colour and the mix. And then, so this is affecting my bathing suit. I kind of like it in the middle, actually. I like it the way it is. Make it pop a bit more with some more. Oh my God, has it stopped working? Oh, no, it hasn't. Make it a bit more saturated. Bring that luminance. Oh, yes. I love a dark red. So I'm going to bring the luminance down a bit. And then orange. So this is my skin tone normally. So how orange can we get away with being? Not very. And a little bit browner. Oh, I can't really affect myself too much here because otherwise it just looks too ridiculous. So only -7 on the luminance there. And then the yellows we can bring down or we can bring up. It does look more like luscious on this side, but I prefer it on that side if I'm honest. And normally I would do this to get rid of the yellows, but because so many of the leaves are affected, there's like yellow in the leaves, and I don't want to desaturate that. So I'm actually just going to keep that where it is. And then luminance, do I want it up or down? Or I quite like the leaves quite a little bit bright. Now green, do I want it this way or do I want it this way? I think I like it this way. Just makes it look a bit more like faded. I don't know. I don't really know my reasoning for why I do what I do. Let's up the greens a bit, bring them out. We're going to make them brighter or darker? Oh, we're going to make them a little bit brighter. +22. Okay. The aquas, is there any aqua in this? Not really. Is there any blues in this? Oh, a little bit of the water at the bottom. Yeah, let's bring those blues in and make that nice and bright, kind of. And I don't think there's any purples or pinks. So let's go to clarity, see if we can add that in a bit. We can add in a little bit of clarity, we don't need too much. And then we want to make sure that it is the right way round. So I want to make sure that this water is nice and horizontal, because then we know that it's straight. That's why it's always good to have water in an image, because you know that it's always going to lie straight, so it's easy to line it up. And with Instagram, generally, you're going 4:5. So, oops, I didn't mean to make that smaller. I'm not very good at this. I want the top of that waterfall to be seen. So I think I'm going to do it about there. And there we go. There's the image. I think that's pretty much how I've posted it on Instagram. Oh, should we do one of these beautiful paradise ones? Maybe let's do... Oh yeah, let's do this handstand one. But before we continue, it annoys me that this camera keeps going out of focus, so I'm just going to put it on my notebook. So the before and after for this shot, that's the after, that's the before. Not too much difference. Obviously, you can just see that I've brightened it and just made it look a bit more appealing, in my opinion. So let's reset that photo. Reset all. Okay, so again, we're going to go in with the light first. We're going to bring down the highlights. We're going to bring up those shadows. Then we're going to go in with the exposure. Oh, how bright can we make it? We can make it this bright. Normally we can't bring the exposure up too much. Did that plonk itself in the middle? Yep. And add a bit of contrast. Cool. Lift that bottom up to bring a bit of fade into the image. Lovely. And then colour. Colour mix. Okay, I don't really think there's going to be much red in the image at all. No, there's literally none, so we don't need to worry about that one. Orange. Okay, how orange can we make me? Not very. I'm kind of already quite orange. See how dark I can make me. Oh, could you imagine that? Whoa. Maybe like there is quite nice. And now I think this is going to affect the sand. So again, I like the hues to go really warm and then the saturation all the way down. And that makes sand look much like whiter and bright. I like bright sand. Green, I don't really know if there's any green in the image. Oh, it's kind of affecting the ocean a little bit. Let's make it a bit more blue. Do I want more saturation? No, let's make the water clear and bright. Lovely. Aqua, what's this going to affect? Oh, the ocean there. I like it the way it is. I'll lean it a little bit more to the more turquoise side. Let's saturate that a bit more and brighten it up. Oh yes, nice light water. And as for the blues in the sky, generally, I like to make them a bit more turquoise, not too much. And I don't like super saturated skies. So we're going to bring it down like that, and then we're going to brighten it up. I like a nice light sky. Kind of like that. Yeah, I like that. And there's no purple or pinks in the image, so that's fine. Let's do the clarity. Doesn't need any clarity, maybe a little bit. And then we're going to adjust the crop. So we want it to be straight along that horizon. Beautiful. And then because this is going on Instagram, well, this one's already been on Instagram, 4:5. And what I also like to do here is make myself either in the middle or somewhere significant, rule of thirds and all that. Rule of thirds that I don't really know. So let's put me in the middle like that. Do I want to go up or down? Or maybe there. Oh, that's nice. Okay, yeah, there we go. And that's the image. I think that just looks really, really more appealing. I mean, it definitely looks less natural, but that's all right. That's just how I like it. Should we do any more on my phone? Oh, let's do this one. This photo is the most liked photo on my whole Instagram. I don't really know why, but it looks like this is not edited. No, I haven't edited this. I edited it for my Instagram, but let me show you how I would have done that. So let's go into light. We're going to bring those highlights down. We're going to bring those shadows up. We're going to bring that exposure up, maybe like there, or we can bring the exposure up quite a lot, to be fair. Then let's get that curve, stick that in the middle. Sometimes it's hard on the phone to get that in the middle. And then bring that in there, lift that up like this. Done. Let's go on to, wait, how does that look? Yeah, it's just brighter, isn't it? Let's go on to the colour mix. Red, I'm going to leave that in the middle, I think. Yeah, saturate it. Make it a little bit darker. Why is my nose looking so red in this? Orange, yes, let's make myself nice and orange. Or the thing is, it's kind of like too little or too much. So let's leave it on the too little. And then we can make myself browner. More tan, looking like I've actually been in the Philippines for 2 months. And then those yellows. Oh, it's affecting those trees in the background. I don't want them to be too red. I'll do that. And then, it's quite nice to have sometimes I like the yellows, only sometimes. And then I'll just, if I do like the yellows, I'll kind of just leave it in the middle. And then do I want it brighter or darker? I'm just going to leave it in the middle. And then the green, what do I want done with these? I kind of like it that way. I'm going to saturate them a bit more so we can see them and bring their luminance. I'll just leave it as it is. Then I think this is going to affect the water. Yeah, it does. And I like the kind of turquoisey colour it has. I'm going to move it a bit more towards blue because I feel like it's looking a little bit greeny. And then we're going to saturate it a bit more. And then we're going to lighten it up. Oh yeah, look at that. A nice light ocean. Like there. And blue, that's going to affect, whoa, the sky. So just like a little bit of that. Yeah, take away the saturation a little bit and brighten it up. Beautiful. Now, I think the pink is just going to be affected with my bikini top. I definitely prefer it more towards like the kind of peachy, corally, orangey side. Or just like a little bit of saturation. Light, dark. Like a little bit light. Do you see how I literally just kind of toggle like all the way one way, all the way the other way, just to see how it looks? And then that's why it massively depends on the image itself. And that's kind of it. Yeah, nice. I like it. Put a bit of clarity in there, maybe? Not really. And then does this one need... I don't think it does really need adjusting in terms of the crop. What would Instagram say? Oh, Instagram's about that. Oh, which seems about right. There we go. Beautiful. And there we have Instagram ready to go. Whoa. That's it for the phone edits. Now let's move on to my laptop. So on my laptop, let's start off with the GoPro photos. So maybe this one is a good one from my recent trip to Croatia, which originally looked like this. We are in the develop tool on Lightroom on my laptop. I literally just go through the exact same steps as what I do on the mobile. So we start in the basic tab. I'm going to start with the highlights going down. With the GoPro images, I haven't been shooting them in RAW. So we don't have that much information, but that still looks good to move the highlights down, move the shadows up. And then we're going to move the exposure up as much as we can. Oh, we can't move it up too much, maybe like plus 50. And then clarity, clarity plus 100. GoPro tend to have not so much clarity in their photos, so I up it all the way up here. Then let's go on to tone curve. So I'm going to click it in the middle, and then I'm going to click it here and drag it into this. Drag it into the S shape to get the contrast that I want. Honestly, not that much. Maybe like maybe like there. But then I do want to drag that bottom up to bring that fade in. Maybe like there. Okay. All right, and then I instead of HSL, I use colour because I like to do it colour by colour. So I think this is just affecting Lisa's bikini top. So we're just going to keep that in the middle. Maybe saturate it a bit and make it down low because I like a dark red. Orange. Now this is all of our skin tones. I feel like we're looking a bit green, a bit towards that way. So I'm actually going to put it a little bit, just a little bit to the left. And then let's bring some colour into our bodies without making us look absolutely ridiculous. Where's a nice sweet spot? Maybe like there. Luminance down. It's really affecting my arms. I look like a piece of waxwork. How far can we get away with? Maybe like that much. And then the yellow. So I like to move it into this warm spot. And I normally like to desaturate, but there seems to be quite a lot of yellow in the skin tone in this one. So I can't desaturate it that much. I can't really desaturate it at all, otherwise it just makes some of our skin look grey. So I'll desaturate it just a little bit. Whoa. Normally I'd put the luminance up on this, but because it's affecting our skin tone, I actually want to go down just a touch. And then we're going to go into greens. Is there any greens in the image? Or in the background, there is some. Oh, I like it more green, you know. I like it a bit more like that. Let's leave it like that. And then saturation up. Yeah, let's bring those greens in. Luminance down, luminance up. Luminance in the middle. Aqua. Was it like that way? Oh, that way. Oh, I mean, I like the colour of the ocean the way it is. Maybe a little bit more towards the green side. And then let's bring that saturation up. And the luminance up all the way with that luminance. I like the water as light as possible. And then with the blue, let's make it more turquoise, just a little bit, not too much. Oh, now normally I don't like a saturated sky, but I like the way we've actually brought a little bit of blueness into that sky. But then let's bring the luminance up again. Yeah. Like that. I like that. It doesn't make the water look overly realistic, though it was very blue in person. Maybe not that blue, but that's okay. This is my image. I'll edit it how I want it. No purple in the image. My Lightroom just crashed. It does this all the time. Does anyone else's Lightroom do this? Let's go before and after so far. So that's the after, before, after, already looking very good. And then I don't really touch split toning. Sometimes I might add a bit of sharpness, but honestly, I can't be bothered with this one. I think the only thing I need to do now is to make it straight. So I click on the angle icon and then I go from one side of the horizon to the other. And that just straightens it up. Actually, I could go with the boat and go along that straight line. Yeah, that's good. And then I kind of want the boat to be exactly in the middle of the shot. So we're looking at about maybe that. If I press done. Yeah, then the boat's in the middle. And there we go. There is our completed image. Next, I think I want to show you this snow image because we haven't done a snow one yet. This was taken on my GoPro. This is the raw image, but not actually taken in raw. I'm going to rotate it left, so we're the right way up now. Perfect. And just go through the steps again. So let's bring those highlights down. Shadows up. I like it about there. Exposure. Oh, we can't really do the exposure too much. How about if I bring the whites up? Oh, and that kind of blows them out as well. See, if I do that, then you can see the whites a lot more. I'm going to do the whites down a little bit so you can just see them much more. See how that goes. And then clarity, yeah, we like quite a lot of clarity in this, but not too much with this one. I think I'm gonna move the temp down just a touch. Tone curve, let's bring that contrast in. Oh yeah, this is good with a bit of contrast. There we go. Maybe like that. And pull that fade in. Then we're going to go to colour. We're going to start with the reds. This is affecting like Cheryl's suit and like my goggles. So we're just going to leave that in the middle because we'll leave them to be their true colours, shall we? And then with the oranges, I mean, you can't see too much of our skin. Whoa, that's really an oompa loompa. So we'll just do a little bit of saturation. Move it a little bit down on luminance, not too much. Is there any yellows in the image? Nope, I'm going to leave it down there just in case. I don't want any yellows. Green, I don't think there's any green. There's like one tree, but this isn't even picking it up. Aqua. Oh, my glove. My glove's affected by that. I like a little aqua glove. Yeah, let's bring you to light, put you a bit more saturation in there. And then the blue. Let's move it just a little bit more towards turquoise. Because there's not much colour in this image, I'm going to go against what I normally say about the blue sky, and I'm actually going to bring it in a bit more, but then I'm going to lighten it up. So it's like a light blue that's still there. Nice. And then the purple, that like affects my trousers a little bit. I like them more on the pink scale, but they are very pink. I'm going to desaturate it a bit because they are bright. Oh, actually, the purple affects the shadow. Can you see the shadow below me? Like when I go up, you get rid of the shadow. I quite like the shadow being in there, so I'm going to move that luminance all the way down because then you can see that shadow a bit more, which is quite cool. And then the pink, I could either go with purple trousers or coral trousers. I will nearly always favour a more coral colour. Not all the way though, maybe like there. But it is, oh my, it is very bright. I'm not sure I want them that bright. Just like that maybe. And luminance up. Yeah. And that's it. I mean, if I wanted to crop it for Instagram specifically, we can do a 4:5 cut like that. Is it actually straight? Now it is, I think. Yeah, there we go. Nice. Love it. All right, that one's done. Next, let's do a photo that was taken on my Lumix GH5. So I'm going to do this one at the Parthenon in Greece. That was last year. So that's... Now, the nice thing about this shot is that it was taken in RAW, and it's probably the highest quality of the ones that I have, which means that like there's more information in the image. So it means you can play around with it a lot more, and it's less likely to go whack. So I've just taken the highlights down there and the shadows up. We're going to bring the clarity in a little bit. These images don't need clarity as much. And then exposure. How much exposure? About plus 55 is good actually. Then the tone curve. I don't think it's going to be a very strong tone curve because it's already quite contrasty. So just like tiny little S shape, but then we're going to bring that fade into the image. And that's going to make it quite dreamy. Then we're going to go into colour. So with the reds, move it a little bit more orange, saturate it a little bit more, down with the luminance, yeah, because then you can see my tongue and my lips a little bit more. Then with the orange, this is my skin, so we can saturate me. Oh, we can saturate me quite a fair bit actually, and then make me a bit browner. Yeah, I think that's all right. Sometimes I look at my own images and I'm like, is that okay? Yes. Yellow. Yeah, let's bring that down. And then the saturation down as well. Oh, yes, I like that. And then we can bring the luminance up. So that's making the Parthenon nice and bright. And then the green, that's just affecting that tree in the back. It doesn't really matter. Aqua, is this going to affect anything? Not really. Now the blue will affect the sky. So yeah, that nice like turquoise sky. But it is probably a bit too blue for my liking. So I'm just going to desaturate it like that. And then bring that luminance up. Like that. Yeah, I like that. Okay. Purple. Oh, it's kind of affecting the sky and my play suit. I like it more in the pinky side. Do I want to saturate it? Yeah, maybe a bit. Luminance. Oh, let's move it down a bit. Sure. I don't think there's any pink in the image. So that is pretty much done. But I do want to crop it quite a bit. Yeah, maybe crop it even more. Because I don't really want those people in it. You can see those people at the bottom. And then do I want me in the middle? If I want me in the middle, then I can do this. Yeah, that's cute. Ah, look at me go. That's a before and after. I like that. Okay, shall we do one more? Let's do this one from Antigua last year. We've got some proper sand in there. This was also taken on my Lumix GH5. So we're going to go down with those highlights. We're going to bring those shadows up. We're going to bring this exposure up to as high as we can get away with, which is like plus 70 actually, I'd say. That's not bad. Clarity. Oh yeah, we can put a fair bit of clarity in it, I'd say. Maybe like plus 50 with that. Now with the tone curve. I always like to do clarity before tone curve on the desktop. I don't know why, I just do. Yeah, there's a significant S in there. And lift up those shadows, or lift up that fade. I wish I could tell you technical terms, but it's just not that technical. Now the red, this is affecting my skirt. My skirt is kind of corally, so it kind of, in the middle really, I don't need to change that, but I can make it a bit more saturated and make it a bit darker. And with the orange, I feel like I already look quite orange. I don't need to make myself any more orange. Oh, I don't need to make myself any browner as well. I'm looking good naturally in this one. And then with the yellow, yep, see that's affecting the sand. But I want the sand to be white, so we're just going to completely desaturate it and bring that luminance all the way up. So maybe not all the way up. Oh yeah, maybe all the way up. Or maybe about there. And then the green, that's affecting those trees in the back. I think I like it a little bit more green on that one. Yeah, let's saturate it so we can actually see them a bit more. Luminance, or keep that in the middle. Then aqua, is that going to affect, that kind of affects the ocean. And I like it having this slightly more turquoise colour. yeah, let's saturate that and bring that luminance up. Oh yeah, nice light ocean. And then with the sky, oh, yeah, make it a bit more turquoise. See, that's just too much. I could bring some colour into it there, but then brighten it up. Nice bright sky. And I don't think there's any purple or pink in the image. And it looks pretty pretty straight to me. There's our horizon, but it's a bit of a dodgy horizon. Yes. And then 4:05 for Instagram. I don't know if I ever posted this photo. Maybe I did ages ago. See, it's probably at this point where I'm supposed to use rule of thirds. Maybe I should do that, because then the whole sky is a third and below me is a third, so we're kind of just in the middle. Should we do that? Yeah. There we go. And that's the final image done. I don't think I'm going to do any more today, mostly because I think that my computer is about to blow up. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was useful. Let me know if you would like me to do more of these photo editing tutorials. If you like the way that I edit photos, as you can see, I'm very rough with it. I don't exactly know what I'm doing, but I just toggle around with it until I find a sweet spot with how I like it. So well done if you've made it to the end of this video. I feel like I've been editing photos for a while now. I've shown you quite a lot, but I hope you can see how I manipulate different images to kind of give them all the same kind of vibe, so it looks like I have a somewhat theme on my Instagram. And I know I keep saying this, but I do plan on making a video tutorial on how I edit my YouTube videos, but that's like quite a long and complicated one to film, which is why I haven't done it yet, but it will come at some point, hopefully before Christmas. But anyway, I hope you're all well. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.